Hey guys, it's Leo, and it's time to talk about episode 13 of HUGTTO PRECURE. This episode felt kind of special because it was Lulu's introduction to the human world, and she started living her own life while gathering information on Hana. Hana, our main character, she is the perfect main character for this kind of situation. We've seen in past episodes that Lulu is very analytical, and we know from observation and from outside sources, I mean like sources outside of the anime, which is basically the Precure app, that game, the puzzle game, that said that Lulu is an android. So we know that she's not human, but we don't know her backstory very well. We don't know who she is or when she was created, who is her creator, and what is she really trying to accomplish here. We don't know much, but we do know that Lulu is someone who is trying to gather information on Curiel because she's trying to understand the source of her powers. And that's very smart because when you have someone like Paparu or Charlie attacking the girls, they simply attack them. They don't think of a plan, a good plan. They don't think of a good situation in which they can put the girls in and give them a harder time. I mean, Paparu did that when she got Charlie and transformed him into a monster. But I don't think that was a smart move. It was just simply something that that felt like an attack, a powerful attack, but it didn't have like a very elaborate technique behind it. And so Lulu went onto her house, to Nono Hana's house, and now she's living with her family, and she brainwashed her mother so that her mother could say that she is a transfer student from a foreign country and she is going to live with them. That made Hana very, very excited. And I think that one of the most interesting aspects of this episode was to think about Hana as a human and Lulu as an android, and we would have both ends of a spectrum on how to act and how to react to things. And I felt that created lots of interesting situations because we had lots of moments in which Lulu felt very out of place. But for Lulu, that was normal because Lulu is an analytical type of person. And I don't even know if I can call Lulu a person now. But she's very analytical. She is someone who thinks about things in a very practical way. And that's the only way she can think about things. And although I think that's not a very interesting character trait, I think that Lulu has those character traits for now, but she's probably going to lose them for a more human trait later on. And so we had so many nice and funny moments. Lulu showing herself up to the class, and it's interesting because I have no idea where she took that name from. And I don't know if Lulu already has something on Cure Amour. Maybe Amour is a name that was used as a cure in the future, and now she knows about that name and she wanted to use it. But I have no idea where she took that name from, and I hope that we get an explanation in the future because, well, we know what's going to happen to Lulu in the future, right? And that moment, her introduction to the class was interesting because Hana spoke, and at the same time she was like, why are you speaking with me? There's no need for that. And it ended up being very funny. I loved Hana's faces in the school setting, and you know, the school setting was so nice when Lulu ditched the guys that wanted to go out with her. She didn't really ditch them, she just didn't understand what they meant. And that was such a smart thing for them to write as a comedic scene. It felt so funny, and I really, really liked all those things. I also liked the idea of a party because Hana wanted Lulu to feel at home. She wanted Lulu to feel safe. She wanted Lulu to feel happy. She wanted Lulu to feel welcomed. And that's a normal thing to do when you have someone coming from a foreign country to your house, and that's totally understandable. But Lulu didn't really want that because Lulu wants nothing except gathering information on Hana. And, well, poor Hana, because Hana wants a friend in Lulu. And so the party was a disaster. I liked that Lulu was, you know, giving back everything they said and everything they offered her. But it was interesting because she even backed off HUGTTO. she even backed off Hugton. Hugton was shocked with Lulu's reaction as well, because Hugton is, she's basically used to having everyone do whatever she wants around her, but obviously Lulu didn't think like that, and Lulu, you know, she just cut Hugton off, and Hugton was shocked. That was funny, even though the situation was very awkward with everyone in her home. And I loved how everyone was using Hana's reaction phrase, mechaku, to react to what Lulu was doing with them. But I liked that Homare was the one that actually spoke up. And she was the one that actually tried to understand why Lulu was doing those things. But I felt like it was interesting because no one really caught up in the fact that Lulu doesn't really act like a human being. And no one really understood that. And there was even a philosophical talk between Hana and her father, because Hana was treating Lulu as someone very special, and her father talked to her and said, look, maybe you should try to approach this another way and try to act her and try to bring her in like a family member. And that doesn't really make much sense when you think Lulu is an android. But when we got to the precure scene of this episode, which was kind of stupid, because we had the three girls going in at the same time, but only Curiel was able to fight, and the girls were worried about Curiel's state when she disappeared. I mean, this is just a normal Oshimaida. There's no need for you girls to worry. You know nothing bad is going to happen to Curiel. And where were you both? Where were you, Cure Anje and Cure Etoile, when she was fighting? I mean, they could have fought together. There was no real reason for her to fight alone, except for the scene in which she went away, a little bit away, and Lulu stopped time for a while. Did she stop time? What did she do there? Is time something that's in her abilities as well, like it is with Hugton? Maybe there's something there, I don't know. But I thought that scene was very beautiful. When she stopped time and she was able to talk with Curiel, that was a very beautiful scene. And it felt like a dream to Curiel, and it made sense because, you know, Curiel and Hana, they're the same person, but not exactly when you're not a cure. I mean, for outside people, they're different people, they're different entities. And she was talking to Lulu normally. And I liked their talk. It felt very emotional. It felt kind of emotional. And when she told Lulu that she wanted her to be part of the family, that's when things actually started making an effect on Lulu. And now she is starting to feel something. And that's interesting. Why does she have the ability to feel? What's really going on with this character? What is happening with Lulu as an android? And what are the effects of her feeling something? That makes me very, very curious, and I really like it. And after that, we had a very nice scene with Lulu and Hana in Hana's house. I really liked it. And it's interesting because right after Hana slept, Lulu had a moment with herself, and she was thinking about Hana's actions, and she was thinking about Hana's feelings towards her, and she asked herself, like, if Hana knew who I really am, would she still feel this way? And that's a very philosophical question. That's not something an analytical person would think of, I think. So it feels like it's starting. It's already starting. The feelings are already starting on Lulu, and that's very interesting. That's a very interesting thing for us to think about. That's a very interesting thing for us to understand, and for us to, you know, to see her growth as an android. Because, well, right now we have Hana in one side as someone who's very emotional, and at the other side we have Lulu, who has no emotions at all. But, you know, they're the exact opposites of a spectrum. And then Lulu now is probably going to start feeling something. And that's a very interesting thing that I want to see. One last thing I want to comment. Papuru was talking about Lulu, and she was also talking about the Mirai crystals. So they know they have new Mirai crystals now. They have 6 Mirai crystals, and that might impact the way the villains act. I don't know, but that might impact them. And it was interesting because we didn't see the face of the man that was with Papuru. And, well, we know it's the man with a book that appeared in some episodes. And we know it's him, there's no secret there, but I really like the way Paparu thinks about him, and I really want to see more of their relationship because we've only seen one side of that with Paparu. Paparu showing her emotions. Not really to him. I think the first time we saw that, Paparu was showing her emotions to herself. But now it felt kind of like clear that she was talking to him. She was not talking to herself this time. And I really want to see more from them, and I really want to see more of this character, which is probably the main villain of the season, and he probably has a very good reason to be one. So I'm very curious. Guys, that was all I wanted to say about episode 13. I'm very, very anxious to talk about this. So please leave a comment with your opinions. Let's keep our talks in the comment section below. If I forgot something, please tell me. And let's keep our talk going. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye bye.